So Aries, this week from Lay Vampire, again, you pulled discipline, training, consistency, and practice. But then from Chakra Wisdom, you pulled workaholic. So there's a little bit of worry there. But discipline seems to be continuous with you guys. But, I kind of attribute that to the fact that you guys are constantly, going after new things, right? It is about the experience. And maybe there's a need here to commit to some of the things that, you're really wanting to see happen. It's just that, when you're looking at workaholic, it's like, wait a minute, don't go overboard. There's a couple of different feelings around this, and we'll get into it now. Discipline. And I know you guys have heard this before, but we're going to go through it again. The blessing says that you have the ability to create a program of change and stick to it. And after a period of time, it will transform from painful to pleasurable. The freedom and strength that affords you far outweighs the pain you experience in the short term. And then working with this card talks about laying down a plan to create structure and sticking to your commitments and clearing away any doubt that you have. But then when you look at workaholic, it's like, are you so absorbed in it that you're not dealing with other issues in your life? Or are you so absorbed in it that your life is just passing you by? Because the very first quote for this card says, while I worked, my life happened. And you don't want to do that either. The inspiration says, are you waiting to complete your career before you live your life? Busy work may be helping you hide from the real issues. The personal question says, am I working too much and suffering from burnout? Is there something important that I am avoiding? And then the key ideas are feelings of inadequacy, transformation indicated, not being fulfilled by work, heeding warnings, and refreshing your mind to improve your work. So it's one of those things where, you could be burnt out. Maybe, you stuck to your commitments a little bit too strongly. But either way, what I worry about with workaholic is your life is passing you by. And then the other thing is don't use that as an excuse to hide from other issues that you may have to deal with as well. All right, Aries, here we go. Here is the energy coming through. Nice. Happiness. And that's exactly where your focus needs to be. What are your wishes? What are you fulfilling here? What is making you so happy, And that's what you need to focus on. Oh, in the past. Well, now I can understand why you've got some happiness going on. When you look at the 8 of Cups and then you're looking at the 9 as a signifier, you have created some happiness in your life by walking away from what is dragging you down. The 8 of Cups has a difficult energy around it for me because, I see somebody putting so much emotional time and effort into something that had meaning to them, and then it gets to a point where it's no longer fulfilling, and you're kind of left with this feeling like, ugh, right? But with the 9 of Cups, that's good energy. It's good energy because, you're no longer allowing situations to bring you down anymore. You are more focused on your own happiness. In the present, the 2 of Pentacles. Here's where workaholic and happiness, are like conflicting, right? The light and the dark. The 2 of Pentacles is the juggling act, To me, it's needing to find balance because you're constantly in the balancing act where, you're keeping all these things going, but when do you get to the point where you're like, fuck it, right? And the 8 of Cups as a past coming through is suggesting that you dropped something. And for a lot of you, it's you realizing that there needs to be, this nice harmony here between, what you have to do on the physical plane and what you need to do on the spiritual plane that's going to connect you to that happiness. I don't really see it too much as a bad thing, but, it is signaling to me that there is like a need for balance between, the day-to-day and what makes you happy. Oh, shit. Future conditions, the Wheel of Fortune bringing you happiness. That's amazing. That is amazing. The Wheel of Fortune and future conditions, this is the turning of the wheel. This is fate and destiny, good things happening this time. To me, it does suggest repeating cycles. It is the cycles that we go through. But, the big thing here is, what are you going to do differently here in this cycle, right? But again, it's the universe turning in your favor here, right? And it's because of the decisions that you're making to let go of the things that are not truly creating this happiness that you're focused on. It's perfect. Nice. Yeah. When you're talking about workaholic and maybe needing to take a break, there you go. Spirit saying, hey, it's time to do, some rest and meditation now. Stop working so damn much. Maybe you need to take a couple of days off, take a break so that, you can allow this fate and destiny to start stepping in here and letting it create some happiness for you that you can be like a part of instead of being, in workaholic mode. And discipline, maybe the discipline needs to be, the ability for you to manage both there with the Two of Pentacles. But I do see the Four of Swords as the break, taking the break, after battle, right? Doing some meditative thinking, doing some recuperating, right? Some healing. And it's good. It's good, especially with the Nine of Cups being there. The give and take, I'm telling you. Needing to have an even balance. I have to wonder if maybe, because when I see past energy coming through, there's the feeling of, okay, this is the catalyst for what is happening now, but the thing is why is it still showing up? Maybe this is something that was really hard for you to walk away from, because I'm looking at the Six of Pentacles and you evenly giving to, this emotional, like drugged down feeling and then happiness, right? But I do think that with these two, it's the even give and take between, what you have to do to survive and what you need to do to create your own happiness. And I think what you need to do is take a break. Take a break. But, looking at the Six of Pentacles too, if you're making financial decisions when you're looking at it, that aspect, it's great. It's great. Whatever decisions you're making, I think you're doing the right thing for sure. But I do feel like, there needs to be the evenness, the even give and take. What are you putting your time and effort into? Because that is what you're going to receive. Oh, wow. So for a lot of you, it does have to do with work. Absolutely. Working too damn much. Seeing the Princess of Pentacles or the Page of Pentacles as your hopes and fears is saying that for a lot of you, you may have started something new here where you're busting your ass. The other thing is that it could suggest that maybe you're learning something new. Maybe there is a new opportunity here that's showing up for you to start something new. And there's always the potential there for financial gain. It's good. I see it as a good energy. I get the feeling here that the reason why discipline is coming through is that, if some of you are leaving a job that made you feel like crap and you're starting a new one here, right? This has to be something that, you are happy with, first of all, but something that you're willing to put your time and effort into. That isn't eventually going to lead you back to the same spot because, with the Wheel of Fortune being there, right? This is another cycle, but you don't want to end up with the same result that you had as the past coming through. And I do think that for a lot of you, there needs to be an even give and take between, what you're doing that is creating security in your life, right? The ability to survive, and then what you're doing for your own happiness, And for some of you, it just may be there needs to be you leaving something and learning something else. Like leaving a shitty job, something that wasn't making you truly happy, and then getting into this happiness and doing something that you really want to do and learning about it. But I think some of you need to take a break first. I mean, if you're going to leave a job before you start a new one, give yourself a couple of days. Financially, if it's going to cause struggle, then yeah, you might have to do something. But I really do think that Spirit is trying to say that you need a minute to think about things first. And there you are. And there you are. So, and looking at it this way, it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. The King of Wands, and it's perfect for you guys. This is basically saying that before you start something new here, you need to be clear on what happiness looks like to you. But then the other thing too is I get this feeling that you get to a point here where, you're more passionate about what you're doing, right? I mean, there is the problem there with sticking to your commitments with the King of Wands sometimes. But you're not going after something and being stupid about it. I mean, if that were the case, I would have expected to see like the Knight of Swords, but seeing you here is saying wisdom. There's wisdom here, knowing what you want to do. And then not just doing something that's creating, security, the ability to pay the bills, right? You're doing something that's making you happy. And it's because of you walking away from what wasn't serving you anymore. And that's when the wheel starts turning, right? It's good. It's good. I just think that, some of you need a little bit to really think about what is going to make you happy. What new things are you going to learn and put your time and effort into that are going to make you happy? Yep, tranquility, the Four of Swords. So communication, communicating the truth. And the truth is that you need some tranquility and you need to take a break. I like it, but I do feel like it's an inner communication that's happening with you. I'm not seeing a reason for you to like needing to communicate anything to others. I think that this is the communication that you're doing with yourself, especially when you're looking at these two, right? But it is the truth, needing to communicate the truth to yourself. But it's not bad. And seeing tranquility, I do feel like that's something you need. You need to take a break. Listen with your heart. You are listening to what is being said to you, but need to listen with a loving heart. That card basically is talking about, the difference between like listening to somebody and actually hearing them, right? And again, it's that inner communication, right? Listen with your heart. What is going to make you happy? New love. Wow, nice. Embrace this new opportunity of love that is here. This may pertain to work opportunities or spiritual growth. Okay, I'm not even going to say anything. I'm not going to say anything. It speaks for itself. But I do think that the inner communication of the truth is what you're looking at here. And that truth is that I think some of you need to take a break, especially before you start any new work opportunities. All right, Aries, so your focus right now is on your happiness, which is perfect. This is exactly where you need to be. But I think that maybe some of you are struggling with, needing to make that choice here to let go of what is no longer fulfilling you. I think you're putting too much time and effort into something because probably you feel like you have to stick to your commitment here. But really the commitment that you should be sticking to is what is going to make you happy. And I think when you do that, the wheel starts turning for you. And there's an opportunity for you to learn something new. And you have a passion for it, right? It's not like you're dropping one thing and then chasing something else and doing it like with arrogance or being foolish. There's wisdom here. You're being smart about it and you're doing, I think, what is true to you. It's just that right now you're putting too much time and effort into something that's just creating this whole workaholic mode, And I do think that Spirit is trying to tell you that there's a need for you to take a break. You're needing some tranquility, absolutely, with these two cards showing up. But then also there is a need here for you to listen. Listen to the truth that's being communicated to you, whether it's through a partner or what's happening with you internally when you're going through, the meditative process. But I do think, You have to take a break before you start something new. It may be hard financially for some of you, but seeing the Six of Pentacles there too, though, I don't know. Something may be coming to you that is going to help you out with this. And then not only that, but like if you're learning something new, right? Like say you're going back to school and you're going to like change what you're learning here. This could be a little bit of aid coming through to help you, which is good. It's good. I like the feeling. You are focused exactly where you need to be, and that is on your own happiness. And not only just your happiness, but being able to survive at the same time. It's just, there's something that you're going to have to let go of. And I can understand the struggle in needing to do that, but going into workaholic mode is not good. And I do think you need to take a break. And then new love, new work opportunities, a new love in your life. Either way, it's perfect. And again, your focus is exactly where it needs to be. Just make sure you take a break first.